an old owl should be careful not to say the wrong thing after that. I just wish to confirm seriously what Virginia has just spoken. The woman next to my side is more than my wife. In Africa, we have got laws where a person's position is raised or lowered according to what that person has done. In Africa, we have got sacred marriages. In Africa, we have got marriages beyond the ordinary, marriages which ordinary people find hard to understand. The woman next to me is my wife. Virginia and I met under strange circumstances. My wife, first wife, Cecilia, was dying. Cecilia was a victim of cold-blooded murder in a hospital. As she lay there, she spoke to Virginia and then to me. I'm calling upon you to be married to each other for certain sacred reasons that we cannot go in detail about. Ours is not an ordinary marriage. There are sacred marriages in many parts of Africa. There are also ordinary earthly marriages in many parts of Africa. The woman next to me is more than just my wife. She twice fought hospital authorities to bring me back from death, and that made her much more than a simple wife. Perhaps one day that story will be told. But let me tell you this. There are people who are cruel by nature and vicious by spirit, who tear the souls of other people apart for certain sinister ends. I have a long story that can be told over many, many months. My life has not been ordinary. My life has been a combination of ordinary and not ordinary. And the woman at my side, this woman, is not just my wife. In Africa, when a woman has fought to save your life from the cold claws of death, she becomes more than a common spouse. She becomes part of you. This woman is my Dadewethu, my sacred sister. I can say no more than that. I have been through hell in my life. Strange things have happened to this unworthy creature that is me. I have traveled to many parts of the world. I have experienced many things which will never be written about. This woman is my sister, my ritual sister. She has the command over my life. She has the right to sentence me to death if I do something evil. She has shared with me in countries far away, in incidents that can go beyond pen and paper to record. Udadewethu, my sister, she was commanded by a brave woman who was dying. She was told, you must protect this man, protect Mutwa, and you know the reasons why. I have been to many parts of the world, and I met many things that shook me. I have been to faraway America long ago, and there I found out things that would shake even the heart of a skeptic. I have undergone many things, gone through many happenings, protected by this woman at my side, who was herself commanded by another woman who was dying a painful death. That woman said, I want you to protect your father. I want you to help him tell the world what he knows. Do you promise this? And this woman, Virginia, said, departing mother, I promise. Those were words that closed a long story. I have found out things that I should have written to the whole world about. I have gone through things that people will find hard to believe. But that again is another story. Except this. Here is my Dadewethu, my ritual sister, my protectress as I protect her. I have a story to tell, and some strange things are happening to me in South Africa at this moment. And the purpose of these things being done to me and to her is to close us, to hide a certain thing that I found by accident. That is another story. But know this. Know this, children of the world. To this woman, I am a brother. She is my commander. She brought me back from death twice, and this is no exaggeration. When you come across certain truths in this modern world in which we live, you find yourself in darkness and pain and incredible horror. This all happened to me. But now there are people white people, most of them, who are tearing my name to pieces, making me look like an idiot, when in fact I am a person who discovered things that few in my country know. How many people know that America, parts of America, were once ruled by black people? How many of those know? I do. And for knowing that, I have had to pay a terrible price. I have been an object of slander. I have been an object of vilification and a victim of theft by people without mercy. But I have a truth to tell that the whole world must know. I have a truth to tell which joins two great continents together. How many of people know that Africans once sailed the ocean, that Africans ruled certain places on the vast American continent? How many of you know that? I do. I am asking only one thing to close down this old story. Do not allow thieves and monsters in human shape to rob you by making up stories around me. Don't. I'm asking for no charity from anyone. I am seeking no greatness. History itself will judge what I did, whether I failed or succeeded. But all I say is this: let the thieves who are using my name to rob people in my country and beyond stop what they are doing.
Using Facebook and foundation.
There are people who talk about things which I know nothing about. They use these things to fleece people of money. They talk about foundations. They talk about Facebooks. I, Credo, may have many faults in my life, but begging is not one of them. I prefer to work with these hands. I prefer to listen to the voice of this woman who was commanded by my previous wife, Cecilia, as she lay dying painfully in a hospital. She said to Virginia, protect your father. He has a story to tell. But now I've come to look like a clown and an idiot. And the people who are doing this know exactly what they are doing. They think they are trying to close up certain caves in the soul of Africa herself. There are truths that have got to be known to the world, whether people like me are destroyed or not. Africans should know their true greatness in history. When I first came to the United States, I came across surprising things. I came across similarities in African culture and Red Indian culture. I came across things that should be put on paper clearly without humbug and mumbo jump. Africans once sailed to America long before men like Columbus and others of his kind were even born. Again and again our people had known that they once visited the land of the Western gods. And the stories they tell of that are amazing. I heard them, I judged them, and I honored them. Our people were there, far beyond the horizon. Our people were there on lands which some say are too far away to be reached by human beings. I found similarities in words, in the languages of certain Native American tribes. I found strange things that should create a bond between Native America and Black Africa to be investigated, to be known and honored. We joined hands across the far oceans, we of Africa. We were no stupid race of apes. We were no stupid savages. Go for yourself there and you shall find what I found by accident. You shall find links in the languages of Native American people and Africa. What is a dwelling called in the languages of certain Native Americans? They call it an igloo. And in South Africa, what is a dwelling called? It is called an indlu. There are links between Africa and America which cannot be laughed away. And people who expose these truths suffer as I am suffering now. But hundreds of years ago, across the vastness of the ocean, men and women of Africa joined hands in friendship with the Native Americans. In the language of my people, the Zulu people, a house is called indlu. And in the language of certain Native American people in the United States, a house is called igloo. I can say more and much more, but now I find myself a target of vicious slander. I find myself being made ridiculous. I say, you can spit at a man and he can with tears wipe off your spittle, but you can never, ever, ever spit and erase the truths that that person found. I found links between Native America and Africa. This is what I'm suffering from. I have said more. All I can say is, I thank she who sits at my side, she who promised a dying fellow sister, I will protect this man. Said she. machine. That is all. At one time, America and Africa were joined like sisters across the ocean. At one time, also, far away continents were joined to Africa. We were not a race of savages, as racists have branded us. We sailed the oceans. We believed in gods, as great as any ever been believed in. And what is more, we sailed not only to far America and colonized vast stretches of land there, we also sailed to distant China. Doing what? Selling African elephants to the sons and the daughters